Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be talking about Tampa Bay Buccaneers running backs Rachaad White and Chase Edmonds, because folks, believe it or not, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers run game has actually been looking pretty good the past couple of weeks. I know that is going to be something that is going to blow a lot of people's minds, understandably so. Let me go ahead and tell you that much, considering where the Buccaneers rushing attack was earlier this year. But let's take a look at the numbers. Firstly, talking about Rachaad White, you take a look at the past 3 weeks, and my goodness, 15 carries for 100 yards, 6.7 yards per attempt against the Indianapolis Colts to end November. In December, in the Carolina Panthers game, 20 carries for 84 yards and a touchdown, 4.2 yards per a carry. What? Wild. And then against the Atlanta Falcons, 25 carries for 102 yards for 4.1 yards per attempt. What is happening here? Also, you got to factor in Rachaad White had 10 receptions, or sorry, not 10 receptions. He had 2 targets, 2 catches, 10 yards, then 5 targets, 3 catches, 22 yards, and then this past game, 2 targets, 2 catches, 33 yards, and a touchdown. So Rachaad White has been going a little bit crazy the past couple of weeks, which is a great thing to see, by the way. And Chase Edmonds has kind of been falling into a pretty good rotational, complementary type of back role based on the last game that we saw. 8 carries, 40 yards, 5 yards per carry, 2 catches for 18 yards. What is this rushing attack? This is not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers rushing attack that everybody knows and does not love. This is turning into something actually good, dare I say it? And I think that Rachaad White and Chase Edmonds have been really leading the way regarding that. Right now, as it stands, Rachaad White's at 3.7 yards per carry, which is not great. I would say 4 yards per carry is a decent number, in my opinion. That's a good number overall, but he's getting there. Chase Edmonds is getting there, 3.3 yards per attempt. And one thing that's been really interesting, if you guys have noticed, we haven't seen Keyshawn Vaughn. We have not seen Sean Tucker. It's been a lot of Rachaad White and some Chase Edmonds the past couple of games. It seems like that combo's working, and there's a lot of factors that go into that, right? Maybe the offensive line is finally starting to get it together in terms of run blocking. Aaron Stinney replaced Matt Filer a few weeks ago at left guard. We've talked about that a lot here on the channel, but really one of the biggest things has just been Rachaad White and Chase Edmonds seemingly finally starting to click, seeming to fight for more yards. You start to see, like, if Rachaad White's getting hit after a 1-yard gain, he's going to churn his legs. He's going to keep on fighting, get another 2 yards. Similar things with Chase Edmonds as well. And that's notable, right? That is notable. That is a considerable, noticeable improvement for this Bucs rushing attack, which has been a very good thing to see. And if you guys have noticed, it has led to some success. In my opinion, the Bucs should have won all 3 of these games where Rachaad White has been running the football well. They only won 2. Should have beaten the Indianapolis Colts, in my opinion. But this is a type of offense. This is what the Bucs have been wanting to do all year, right? And you see, it wasn't for lack of trying, but it just wasn't working earlier in the year. 20 carries, 73 yards. 20 carries, 51 yards. 13 carries, 34 yards. 15 carries, 56 yards. 14 carries, 38 yards. Like, the Chicago Bears game was that last game where you really started to see it work, right? Like, right down here, 4.3 yards per attempt, 17 carries, 73 yards, and a touchdown. A lot of the other times this year, you just have not seen it work. I do want to point out that the past couple of games, these past 3 games that we highlighted are 3 out of the 5 top games for Rachaad White this year in terms of yards per attempt. In terms of yards just total on the year, just in a game, it's the top 3. I mean, you can't really argue with that. The results have certainly been there the past couple of weeks. It's certainly been notable, and it's been very enjoyable to watch, man. Is this going to be something that we're going to be seeing as a trend moving forward? The Buccaneers, as we've talked about, have 4 incredibly crucial games coming up against the Green Bay Packers, who just lost, so that's good, I guess. The Jacksonville Jaguars, the New Orleans Saints, and the Carolina Panthers. It seems like the Bucs have finally, after so much trial and error, after so much struggling, seem to finally have a run game that they can rely on more than what we saw earlier in the year, at least in terms of the past 3 weeks of evidence. Some good evidence to say, hey, maybe things have finally started to turn around a little bit, right? Chase Edmonds is another guy. I'm going to give him some credit. This past game against the Falcons, he's a guy where you're like, oh, finally, he's starting to look like the change of pace back that everybody thought he was going to be. Things are starting to click, man. You're starting to see it more. You're starting to notice these types of things of like, oh, this run game's actually starting to work a little bit. It's actually starting to go pretty well. And if that's the case, the Bucs offensively are going to be in a much better state than what we've seen in the past, right? Do they still have their hiccups? Do they still get a lot of 3 and outs? Yes. But being able to take control of a game, you need to have a good rushing attack. And I don't think it's a coincidence that 2 out of the 3 games here where Rachaad White has had his best days on the year rushing the football, they won 2 out of those 3 games, and you could have argued that they should have won that 3rd game also. And it also helps that whenever Chase Edmonds gets going also, the Bucs are also able to win that game. So, just interesting, man. It's something I noticed. It's something I wanted to talk about and make a point on because it's been a long time coming. I've been very critical of the run game this year. Know a lot of people have been as well. Understandably so, by the way, because quite frankly, it was not good. But now we might be starting to see a page turn here. We might be starting to see some things improve. And I wanted to point that out because run game's actually been very good for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the past couple of weeks. So there you have it, folks. What are your guys' thoughts and opinions about the running game of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the past couple of weeks? Have you been very impressed? I've loved what I've been seeing from Rachaad White. He's definitely showcasing that, he's finally starting to showcase that, like, yeah, he could be a starting running back, whereas I don't think we saw that as much earlier in the year. And Chase Edmonds is finally coming along as a rotational guy also. All positive things right now. So would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions about the rushing attack down in the comments section below. What are your thoughts and opinions on it? Let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. As always, guys, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.